What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So welcome to Monday's episode. So for those who may be new, Monday and Tuesday are topics. Wednesday is a discussion. Thursdays, I do the Ask Assist piece, so I usually have interviews. It's not every Thursday, but it's been more frequent than ever before. So I greatly appreciate those people who've volunteered to guest on the show. And then Fridays are everything else. So movies, books, games, all that good stuff. So non-cyber security related. So with all that being said, I give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this first article is from darkreading.com by Elizabeth Montalbano, and it's titled LinkedIn Suffers Significant Wave of Attack Hacks, right? So this is not new. So LinkedIn has been a target for years, right? To where they've been something that people go after, right? Because you have a lot of people that do, like, this is the professional Facebook, I guess you could say it is, right? So you got a lot of whales on there, a lot of potential big wigs on there that can become targets for you, right? So, but right now they're taking it, you know what I mean, really hard. So LinkedIn's getting hacked and people are monetizing this, right? So they're demanding ransoms for people to regain access. If they don't pay up, or they threaten to permanently delete their LinkedIn accounts, right? And people have put a lot of time into these LinkedIn accounts, right? For everything that's out there. I used to have a LinkedIn account. I don't have it anymore, but I can understand the amount of time that people are putting into it. People are using it for job searching, for networking, like connections that have been made that only get communicated through LinkedIn. Like, you're running the risk of losing that. So people paying the ransom, it's not that hard to believe, right? Because this is kind of their line to jobs, you know, and to people, and to making things easier in their professional lives. But the two scenarios have emerged with this, right? So LinkedIn's already taken some action, part of users, right? So what they do is they temporarily lock a person's account due to suspicious activity or hacking attempts, right? And then they notify the user, right? They say, hey, please verify your account, update your passwords to regain access, and the people do so, right? And like I said before, this was last year, actually. The LinkedIn platform was deemed the most abused brand in phishing attempts, right? So again, it's recognizable, right? It's one of those things that's international. People all over the world are using LinkedIn for job purposes, and like I said, the social networking for different things at the job. So they're no stranger to this, but they talk about in this article that as recently as June of this year, actually, North Korean APT Lazarus was using fake LinkedIn profiles to target security researchers in a phishing campaign, right? So what do you start doing? You start going after the people that are making the world aware that you're out there doing things you shouldn't be doing, right? So it's just, this is one of those things where it's like, man, you're not, you can't win for losing, right? Like, type thing, right? So LinkedIn, like I said, widely used, international out there, but it's becoming a target now, because again, this is where the big fish are, right? So when you have your CEOs, your CIOs, CFOs, they're all advertising on LinkedIn. They're all out there saying, hey, this is who I am, you know, reach out to me if you're looking for different things. And now it's become a target, right? So you just got to be careful, right? Like, so we've talked about it before, right? Two-factor authentication. That's one of those things that can assist in trying to keep your account from being hacked, right? Password security, things of that nature. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of people put a lot of time into these profiles, and they don't want them to, these accounts, I guess you could say, and they don't want them you know, all that to go to waste. So they'll pay a fee, right, for it. So, and I can imagine the, you know, hundreds of millions of people that have LinkedIn accounts. I don't know off the top of my head. It may be billions, right? I don't know. I don't know how much it's used, but just for that to go to waste, like, they're going to pay up, you know what I mean? But Ryan, what's your thoughts on this? You're muted, man. You're muted.
Whoops. So yes, it is kind of scary. In that people do put a lot of time in. So even myself, I put a lot of time in. I'm a relatively small fish compared to some who have 30, 40, 50,000 connections, right? They're thought leaders within their field, and it's their primary, I can't use say the word, primarily used social account to connect with their whatever base, right? So I can see someone feeling as though they're the pressure to pay rather than rebuild. Again, like we always say on the show, don't pay the ransom. It's just you're feeding the system in that once they get someone to pay, they're going to say, okay, I can get somebody else. I can just continue to do this. So you kind of have to starve them out. But at the same time, I can completely understand the pressure because even though I don't have that much on there, I have years of content. I'd rather not lose, right? So definitely log into your account, check to make sure all of the information you put in there is in there, right? Because it could be one of those situations where they're slowly taking over your account, where they replaced your email with their email, your phone number with their phone number, and they're progressing towards snatching it from you. So it may not just be a knee-jerk reaction, right? So just go in there and verify your stuff. Maybe update your password. If you don't have multi-factor authentication on there, you definitely should cut it on. It's super annoying. I get it, especially for those of you who work in the Department of Defense or Department of Corrections or somewhere where you can't take your personal phone. So it's going to be hard for you to then log into your account at work. So now you have to do more work at work. That sucks. Sorry, because you don't have LinkedIn as an outlet to do something different. But also just be cognizant of those who you befriend. I know it's very tempting to try to beef up those connections with people who voluntarily want to connect with you. Just make sure that you at least relatively, if you don't know the person, you can reasonably look at their account and tell if they're real or not, just based upon their activity for the most part. Like a lot of people that we're talking about in this scenario would be just they create an account and they have like a post or two, but they have 10,000 connections. You're like, that's kind of weird. So I shouldn't befriend that person. So I'm not saying don't befriend people from overseas and things of that nature. Just be very cognizant that a lot of those accounts are made by people who are not within the country, as well as people who are not necessarily just trying to target you to take over your account or to steal your identity or to potentially pass you bad links, but just people who are annoying. So we all have that where someone will reach out to you for a connection, you click the button, then instantly they're trying to sell you something. So watch out for those people too. But yeah, I'm just trying to make light of a potential terrible situation for you if you were to lose your account, because I would be super sad if I were to lose mine. Again, I don't have 30, 40, 50,000 connections, but just the few thousand that I have, meaningful connections, as well as all of the content that we post for the show goes up there. So that would also be terrible. And then just branding in general, right? I can't be right security guy and have somebody steal my account, at least not easily. Like if it's gonna, it happens. Like it happens to the best of us. But I at least have to make the attempt to frustrate the attacker so they move on to somebody else who's a little bit easier to take over. So
Yeah, it should be one of those things where it's not something that you did, right? Like they shouldn't take over your account because of weak password or
right,
something like that. Like if the company,
password 123.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like if the company gets hacked, the company gets hacked. Like you have no control over that. You know what I mean? Like if they get in through their firewall and start taking over things and
Yeah.
things arrive from there. That's not on you, but which happens more often than it should, right? Or more often than we'd like to. I shouldn't say than it should, but more often than we'd like to.
Right, right. Yeah, like you said, some things are out of your hand. That's a good foreshadowing for our next story. So definitely tune in for that one tomorrow. But again, Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion. Thursdays I like to do the Ask Us SP where we talk to somebody who is either leading in their field or on previous Thursday I talked to Sam Brown, who isn't necessarily in cybersecurity, but he is in uh, hiring, career development, curriculum development for those job seekers, as well as an author. So definitely check that one out. It's a little bit different. I really enjoyed our conversation. It went from his origin story, which I like to do the cyber origin story, but his public speaking and entrepreneurship origin story, all the way to him becoming an author. And then we also talk about frolicking. So that's the thing. Definitely check that out. The conversation went all over the place. It was really good. So I like those. And then Fridays, everything else. So movies, books, games. I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to talk about this week. We both watched or saw things. Uh, it'll definitely be a good time. So definitely check that one out. Hit up all the websites that go by our name. If you are seeking to market or sponsor to our type of demographic, those people who are either trying to break into cyber, trying to upskill while they're in cyber, or those who are leading within the career field, those pioneers, those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, definitely seek me out. I am looking to find a sponsor. So uh, again, hit us up at the websites that go by our name. Hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. Stay safe, stay secure.